Summary of the epic, the Odyssey. Author, Homer. Chapter 1, Invocation and the Situation in Ithaca. Homer begins the Odyssey by invoking the Muse, narrating the perilous journey of Odysseus, king of Ithaca, after the Trojan War. 10 years post-war, Odysseus remains trapped by the goddess Calypso on Ogygia. Poseidon, enraged for Odysseus blinding Polyphemus, creates numerous dangers throughout his journey. In Ithaca, Odysseus' palace is in chaos. Suitors harass Penelope, feasting lavishly, pressuring her to remarry, believing Odysseus dead. Telemachus feels powerless but hopes his father lives. Athena, Odysseus' main protector, watches over him, intervening to help him overcome the dangerous challenges posed by Poseidon. Chapter 2, Athena encourages Telemachus. Athena, disguised as Mentes, visits Ithaca, meeting Telemachus, igniting his courage to embark on a daring quest to find his father. Telemachus gathers the people, demanding the suitors leave, but they refuse, mocking him, fueling his resolve to face the risks ahead. Athena, now disguised as Mentor, helps Telemachus prepare a ship and crew. He secretly departs Ithaca, facing danger from the suitors plotting to ambush him on his return. His journey to Pylos and Sparta begins, with Athena constantly watching, protecting him through the challenges. Chapter 3, Telemachus arrives in Pylos. Telemachus, with Mentor, Athena in disguise, embarks on a perilous journey to Pylos, braving the uncertainties of the sea to find his father. They meet King Nestor, Odysseus' old ally. Nestor recounts the Trojan War but has no specific news, suggesting Menelaus in Sparta might know more. Nestor praises Telemachus' loyalty, urging him to continue. The journey helps Telemachus mature, learning about duty and honor, preparing him to confront the suitors. Telemachus and Pisistratus head to Sparta, carrying hope of finding his father, with Athena silently guarding them. Chapter 4, Telemachus in Sparta. Telemachus and Pisistratus brave a dangerous journey to Sparta, welcomed by Menelaus and Helen. Menelaus reveals that the sea god Proteus told him Odysseus is trapped by Calypso on a distant island. The quest helps Telemachus grow, readying him to face the suitors after these trials. In Ithaca, the suitors discover Telemachus' departure, plotting to ambush him on his return, heightening the risks of his daring journey. Menelaus comforts Telemachus, praising his loyalty. Telemachus feels hope but worries for his father, with Athena quietly protecting him throughout. Chapter 5, Odysseus leaves Calypso's island. On Mount Olympus, Athena, Odysseus' chief protector, convinces Zeus to aid him, trapped for 7 years on Ogygia. Zeus sends Hermes to order Calypso to release Odysseus. Calypso reluctantly complies, helping him build a raft, providing supplies and a favorable wind for his perilous journey. Poseidon, furious for Odysseus blinding Polyphemus, unleashes a fierce storm, sinking the raft. Odysseus battles the waves for 2 days, facing the danger of drowning, but the goddess Ino saves him with a magical veil. He drifts to Scheria, the Phaeacian island, exhausted. Chapter 6, Odysseus meets Nausicaa. Athena, ever watchful, appears in a dream to Nausicaa, a Phaeacian princess, urging her to wash clothes by the river. Nausicaa encounters Odysseus, who awakens after the storm, naked and muddy, having narrowly escaped the perilous sea journey from Poseidon's wrath. Sensing Odysseus' nobility through his eloquent words, Nausicaa gives him clothes and leads him to the palace of King Alcinous and Queen Arete. The hospitable Phaeacians warmly welcome him. Odysseus, yet to reveal his identity, is invited to a feast, preparing to share his story. Chapter 7, Odysseus at the Phaeacian Palace. Odysseus is welcomed by Alcinous and Arete in the Phaeacian Palace. During a feast, the blind bard Demodocus sings of the Trojan War, moving Odysseus to tears as he recalls his dangerous adventures. Alcinous, sensing his importance, asks him to share his challenging tale. Odysseus reveals his identity, beginning his story from Troy, promising tales of perilous adventures. Alcinous and Arete, moved, pledged to help him return to Ithaca, offering a ship and crew. The Phaeacians host festivities to honor him, with Athena silently watching over. Chapter 8, Odysseus recounts the Cyclones and Lotus Eaters. Odysseus recounts his journey after leaving Troy, attacking the Cyclones, but greed leads to a counterattack, facing the risk of annihilation, losing many men. They reach the Lotus Eaters' island, where 3 crewmen eat the lotus, losing memory, unwilling to leave. Odysseus forcibly drags them back to the ship, facing the danger of strange temptations, continuing the journey. The Phaeacians listen, moved by his struggles. Alcinous urges Odysseus to continue, especially about greater challenges like meeting Polyphemus, opening a new adventurous chapter. Chapter 9, The Adventure with Polyphemus. Odysseus narrates his daring encounter with Polyphemus, Poseidon's Cyclops' son. Polyphemus traps him and his crew in a cave, devouring 6 men, posing a deadly threat. Odysseus, calling himself nobody, gets Polyphemus drunk and blinds him with a sharpened stake to escape. As they flee, Odysseus arrogantly reveals his true name, prompting Polyphemus to pray to Poseidon for vengeance. Poseidon vows to make Odysseus suffer, creating numerous perils throughout his journey, from storms to sea trials. The encounter with Polyphemus teaches a lesson about pride, greatly impacting his fate. Chapter 10, The Winds of Aeolus and the Laestrygonians. Odysseus reaches Aeolus Island, the wind god, who gifts him a bag containing all winds, leaving only a gentle west wind to guide them to Ithaca. Nearing home, his crew, suspecting treasure, opens the bag, unleashing fierce winds that blow the ship back to Aeolus, facing a perilous setback. Aeolus refuses further help, believing Odysseus cursed. They sail to the Laestrygonians' land, a race of giant cannibals, where 11 of 12 ships are destroyed in a horrific attack, leaving only Odysseus' ship to escape. The crew, shaken, continues their dangerous journey. Chapter 11, Circe and the Magic on Aeaea. Odysseus arrives at Aeaea, home of the goddess Circe, facing the danger of her magic. Circe turns his crew into pigs, threatening their humanity. Odysseus, aided by Hermes, uses a herb to resist her magic, forcing Circe to undo the spell, making her a key ally. Circe invites Odysseus to stay for a year, offering advice on sea dangers, the Sirens' enchanting song, the monster Scylla, the whirlpool Charybdis, and a warning not to harm Helios' cattle on Thrinacia. Her guidance prepares him for the perilous challenges ahead. Chapter 12, The Journey to the Underworld. Odysseus ventures to the underworld, facing a dangerous journey to meet the prophet Tiresias. He performs a ritual sacrifice, summoning spirits. Tiresias foretells a difficult return to Ithaca, warning against harming Helios' cattle on Thrinacia, lest he lose all his crew and return alone. Odysseus meets his mother's spirit, learning of Penelope's loyalty and Telemachus' pain. He also encounters Agamemnon and Achilles, hearing of their woes. This journey helps Odysseus understand his responsibilities, preparing him for the dangerous trials ahead on his quest. Chapter 13, Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis. Circe had warned Odysseus of the Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis. He orders his crew to plug their ears with beeswax, while he is tied to the mast to hear the Sirens' enchanting song, facing the dangerous temptation. They pass safely, but next face Scylla and Charybdis. Odysseus opts to sail near Scylla, a 6-headed monster, to avoid Charybdis' deadly whirlpool. Scylla kills 6 crewmen in a terrifying attack, a painful loss. They reach Thrinacia, where Helios' cattle graze, and Odysseus warns his crew not to harm them, fearing divine retribution. Chapter 14, Disaster on Thrinacia. Starving on Thrinacia, Odysseus' crew disobeys his warning, slaughtering some of Helios' cattle, risking divine punishment. Helios, furious, demands Zeus punish them. As the ship departs, Zeus sends a storm that destroys it, killing all the crew in a catastrophic disaster. Only Odysseus survives, clinging to a piece of wreckage, drifting to Calypso's island Ogygia, facing peril from Poseidon's storm. He is trapped there for 7 years, ending his sea tale. The Phaeacians, moved, promise to take him to Ithaca, preparing a swift ship. Chapter 15, Odysseus returns to Ithaca. The Phaeacians bring Odysseus to Ithaca on a swift ship, evading Poseidon's wrath, who is powerless as Zeus protects them. They leave Odysseus on Ithaca's shore, where he awakens, not recognizing his homeland after 20 years of perilous adventures. Athena, his ever-watchful protector, appears, disguising Odysseus as a beggar to secretly assess the situation. She directs him to Eumaeus, a loyal swineherd. Eumaeus warmly welcomes him, showing unwavering loyalty and patience after 20 years of waiting for his master's return. Chapter 16, Odysseus meets Telemachus. Odysseus, still disguised, is warmly received by Eumaeus, the loyal swineherd, who shares Penelope and Telemachus' fidelity but notes the suitor's chaos. Telemachus returns from his daring journey, guided by Athena to Eumaeus' hut, seeking news of his father. Odysseus reveals his identity to Telemachus, moving him to tears. The quest has matured Telemachus, giving him courage to confront the suitors. Father and son embrace, planning to eliminate the suitors, facing the threat of their ruthless enemies, with Athena silently guarding them. Chapter 17, Odysseus enters the palace in disguise. Odysseus, disguised as a beggar, returns to the palace with Telemachus, risking discovery by the suitors. His old dog Argos recognizes him, wagging its tail weakly before dying, a symbol of loyalty and the harsh passage of time after his long, perilous journey. Penelope welcomes him, unaware of his identity, sensing his nobility through his words. Eurycleia recognizes a scar on his leg but keeps silent as requested. The suitors mock him, heightening tension before the imminent dangerous battle, with Athena watching over. Chapter 18, Odysseus faces the suitors. Odysseus, still disguised, endures the suitors' insults, risking exposure but staying calm, observing silently. A suitor, Iris, provokes him, leading to a risky fistfight. Odysseus easily defeats Iris, astonishing the suitors, with Athena quietly watching over the unfolding events. Penelope speaks with Odysseus, unaware of his identity, sharing her pain and loyalty. She reveals her plan to hold a bout contest to choose a new husband, a daring move Odysseus silently supports, knowing it will be his chance to act. Chapter 19, Penelope tests Odysseus. Penelope speaks with Odysseus, still disguised, mentioning a prophetic dream of his return. She asks Eurycleia to wash the beggar's feet, and Eurycleia recognizes Odysseus' scar but stays silent. Penelope, wary after 20 years of deceit, fears being tricked again. To test him, Penelope asks to move their bed, which only Odysseus knows is immovable, carved from an olive tree. Odysseus reveals the secret, moving Penelope to tears as she recognizes her husband. They embrace, reuniting after years of separation and perilous journeys. Chapter 20, The Bow Contest. Penelope holds a bow contest. Whoever strings Odysseus' bow and shoots through the target wins her hand, a daring plan to find her husband. The suitors fail to string the bow. Odysseus, shedding his disguise, easily succeeds, shooting the arrow true, proving his identity. The suitors are horrified, realizing Odysseus' identity and facing retribution. He declares vengeance, preparing for a dangerous battle. Telemachus, Eumaeus, and Philoetius, the loyal cowherd, stand by Odysseus, ready to confront the suitors, with Athena silently supporting them. Chapter 21, The Battle with the Suitors. Odysseus, with Telemachus, Eumaeus, and Philoetius, loyal after 20 years, begins a perilous battle against the suitors. He kills Antinous with an arrow to the throat, starting a bloody slaughter. The fight is fierce, Odysseus unrelenting, eliminating all suitors, with Athena's aid. Odysseus justly punishes the traitors, 12 maids who consorted with the suitors are hanged, and the palace is cleansed. Eumaeus and Philoetius' loyalty proves crucial to the victory, restoring order after 20 years of chaos and danger. Chapter 22, Odysseus reunites with Penelope. Odysseus meets Penelope, but she doubts, fearing deception after 20 years of lies, risking further heartbreak. She tests him by asking to move their bed, which only Odysseus knows is immovable, carved from an olive tree trunk. Odysseus reveals the bed's secret, moving Penelope to tears as she recognizes her husband. They embrace, reuniting after years of separation and perilous journeys. This reunion affirms their loyalty and love, a poignant moment in the Odyssey. Chapter 23, Odysseus meets Laertes. Odysseus visits his father, Laertes, living in seclusion, grieving for his son, facing risks from the suitors' vengeful families. He reveals his identity, moving Laertes to tears, and they reunite joyfully, with Athena silently watching, protecting them from looming dangers. The suitors' families gather an army to attack Odysseus, escalating the risk of civil war. However, Athena intervenes, preparing to end the conflict. Reuniting with Laertes marks the final step in Odysseus' perilous journey, restoring family bonds. Chapter 24, Peace in Ithaca. Athena, with Zeus' permission, intervenes to end the perilous conflict between Odysseus and the suitors' families, showcasing the god's role in human affairs. She persuades both sides to agree to peace, ensuring Ithaca avoids civil war, restoring order after 20 years of chaos. Odysseus completes his final task, carrying an oar to a land ignorant of the sea, performing a ritual to appease Poseidon, ending the sea god's wrath after his dangerous journeys. He lives happily with Penelope and Telemachus, concluding his epic adventure.